guys, it's TheFrXion here, Tank12, however you gonna call me, I don't really care, and welcome back to World of Tanks. Today we're just going to be talking about a little issue, or actually maybe a larger issue at hand that I would like to discuss with you guys, and I think it is quite fitting because we just had the the Christmas season, and with the Christmas season we get loot boxes. As you can see down at the bottom right hand corner, this is the time of year in World of Tanks where you can get massive gains in credits and in gold, and that is going to be the topic today. The gold currency is going to be the main question here. It's going to be the main focus because, as you can see right here, I have currently 6 boxes at my disposal. Those are small boxes, the non-premium one. I have bought about 150 large boxes where I did get both the premium tanks in them, but I ended up with quite a bit of gold, I think generally, or about 78,000 gold. I ended up with about 78,000 gold. I remember that about a year or 2 years ago I did earn more. But still, that is a massive sum of gold if you do consider that about $100 would get you, I think, 25,000 gold usually. Oh, and we just finished the game in the STA 1, which is going to be coming up in the top 10. Yeah, in the top 10 video, but I'm not going to be spoiling anything. But the thing is that 66,142 gold is quite a bit of special premium currency, right, at your disposal, especially if you consider that some of the premium tanks cost you about 8,000. So where is my problem? What is my problem with the gold currency, or why am I making this video? Well, the gold currency has kind of lost its status I would say very drastically in the last 10 years. Like the main purpose of the gold currency in the game is to buy either premium time, premium tanks, convert experience that you gain free experience into usable free experience, or buying credits, which I would highly advise against, to ever buying credits with gold. Don't do it. You can grind your credits. There's so many boosters now. Do not try to go for buying credits because the currency balance and the exchange rate just doesn't really make any sense. So if I want to convert 10,000 gold, it would only give me 4 million credits. 4 million credits I could grind in about, let's say, 10-12 hours if I just play my premium tanks, maybe even less. Don't do it, because I think that is just a waste of gold, because this currency is your hard-earned cash that you did invest into the game. Now, with the loot boxes that you did get, or that you bought probably, you would get the most amount of currency or gold that you would get in any kind of scenario if you're playing World Tanks. That is the best way to get gold, and that is usually how people end up with so much gold that lasts them for a year. Now, Wargaming, the Sly Foxes, they are obviously going to bring out the the black market. They're going to bring out all the other stuff, you know, these events where you are always going to be able to spend gold, so that they're taking away the gold again from you, so that you come back in winter, buy the loot boxes to get the gold back. And it has been working out pretty well for them for the last 3 years or 4 years since they have started doing this. And to be fair, I think the amount of gold that you get from these loot boxes has decreased a bit. It's still the best value for money though, but the thing is that the gold currency has no longer the same standing that it used to have, because a lot of things have changed. You can still buy premium time, obviously. You can still exchange credits, convert experience. That's what I usually do when there's like a good discount and you get like the 35 exchange rate instead of the 25. And you can see I have over 700,000 free experience. That's because I did transfer 10,000 and I did use this just in case there's any kind of cool tanks that I have to unlock immediately, or free XP my way through certain modules. That's what I usually tend to do. And that's basically it. You have the exterior, which is probably going to be quite an important thing for a lot of players to customize their vehicles. And obviously Wargaming have added some of the things that you can only buy via gold. For example, these certain camouflage, what do you call them? Certain camouflage parts that you can add up together and create your own camouflage kind of stuff together. Then the emblems and decals and inscriptions, all of them cost you about 50 gold. Now, back in the days, you were able to actually buy some of that stuff for credits and rent it. They in a dark, I don't even know what you call it, in German it would be called Nacht- und Nebel-Aktion, which would translate into in a foggy, misty kind of action. They took away all that stuff, like hidden, and they all secretively they took away that stuff and never put it back in. So you obviously have the gold to buy the decals and the emblems, and I think they're quite pricey for 120 gold. And usually I never really buy any decals or emblems. I just unlock them because there are a lot of events in game where you unlock a lot of emblems, and I end up with so many emblems that I don't really use. I don't really use emblems at all. I just use the presets. And this is where I actually do buy certain skins from time to time. There are also going to be discounts in there, so that's where I do spend my gold. But the main place where people would be spending their gold is obviously to buy premium tanks. But let's take a look at the premium tanks at the disposal that you can actually buy off Wargaming's in-game store. We can actually also go to the store real fast, and we can check that out because I want to talk, or I want to show you guys the point that I'm making right now. That is that you are very limited in the tanks that you can actually buy with gold. Very much so. Because no, that's actually all the tanks that I own. Right here we have the gold. Let me see. Where do you buy premium tanks that are kind of unique? This is the service, consumables, directives, personal reserves. There are actually good bundles here sometimes, and these are the bond tanks. And these bond tanks, obviously, they're not that important since bond is a currency that you can earn in-game. But if you want to buy premium tanks, there are certain tech tree premiums available for you that you can pick out. The thing is, though, that a lot of these tech tree premium tanks are just not very good. They're not extremely competitive, especially at tier 8. If we go through the list, the most competitive tier A premium tank out of the bunch right here, out of the 3, is going to be the T26. That is actually a very good premium tank. So if you can get that, I would highly recommend this as a premium tank because it's just a very good tank overall. Now with the Germans, the VK 16801P is just an absolute joke. That is a tank that I would never buy. The Kanonjagd Panzer can be quite good, can be decent if you like a vehicle that has pretty good firepower, but maybe not the best DPM. The Löwe is a classic. That thing, obviously, I would always recommend, but I'm biased with the Löwe. There are certain other options like the E75 TS, the Defender, all of these things. They're not selling them in the store inside, but they always resell them on their website for real money. That is exactly where the problem lies. Wargaming will not allow you to buy certain premium tanks, although they're available in-game, inside of the game. They only allow you to buy them as bundles, so you have to spend money again. And that is a big problem, because obviously Wargaming want to make a second buck off of you. They want to make you spend gold, or make you spend money to buy gold, Then you notice that the gold is actually worth nothing because the premium tanks you want to buy, you have to still buy over the website. And you're kind of stuck with a lot of golds that will only be available for you to, only like accessible for you to buy certain premium tanks that you might already have gotten, that you don't enjoy, or that are just maybe not competitive enough. The STG is a good tank, the IS6 is decent, but it's not the best. And you can see the trend continues. The FV4202, actually a tank that I do like. The AMX M4, this is actually a good tier 8 premium tank. They did take the FCM out. That would have been a real scam if they sold the FCM, to be fair, because that thing is absolutely nowhere near the as good as it used to be. Now the 112 is in there, the WZ, but the Scorpion G is missing, the SU-130 PM. All of these legendary premium tanks that all the people are playing, they are missing. So that pretty much leaves us with a lot of gold at our hands, on our disposal, that we cannot really use. And that's quite interesting and fascinating, that a premium currency that you've paid real life money for in a game will not get you something that you do want to get, and will not be available for you unless you spend more money again. So the last couple of years, this trend has completely demolished the golds and the value of the gold, because gold is no longer as important as it was back in the days. So the currency that you now have in your garage is basically pointless. Like, that is really harsh. If I say that, it sounds really harsh, right? It's maybe a bit too harsh. It's kind of pointless in the sense that you're not able to buy the premium tanks that they are bringing out in the game, but they're not bringing out in the store. Now, that's one of the things that I want to address. I want Wargaming to actually allow us to use the gold inside of our garage on the premium tanks that they're releasing into the game. I don't care if they tax you 15,000 instead of the 10,000, but give us the option to use the gold on new premium tanks as well. And that's one of the things also for events. If there are event vehicles, if you have the discount, why not give us the option to use the gold on discounted vehicles, so that we don't have to play 10 days in a row and have 10 days of pure frustration because your goals that you set for the experience that you have to earn, the base experience that is just absolutely ludicrous. And I think this is a very important thing, because we've already spent money. We've spent money on the game, so why can't we use this currency to buy tanks that are in the game but you do not make available? And I think it has always been quite irritating, because look at my premium tank collection down here. These are all tier 8s, right? I have about 79 tier 8 premium tanks, as you can see down here. Most of them I've bought just randomly, or one by one. So yeah, just imagine how many of these tanks I was able to buy with the gold that I had in my inventory. And I think that is just a bit, it's kind of a douchebag move. I know War Thunder does the same. I know other premium games or other free-to-play games do similar stuff like that. But I just think that it's a bit disappointing that we still go in the year 2020, or in the year 2021 now, that we still go down this route and we still have this issue at hand where we have premium currency that is not really usable at all. And I think it's quite interesting to see how it kind of developed over the years into this absolutely unnecessary currency that just, it's nice to have, but it doesn't really allow you to get the things that you want. And isn't that what you're supposed to be able to do if you're spending money on a free-to-play game, especially if it's a premium currency? And I just think it baffles me. But obviously I'm going to be I'm a part of the problem. I'm a tank collector. I still bought the SU-130 PM, as you can see. I still bought the G-Sor. I didn't buy, well, I did buy the G-Sor, but you know what I mean. I got it out of the loot box. I still bought the EBR 75. But I mean, I just looked at that. After the 25th, they sold the Object 7032, right? This is the tank that was in last year's loot box. This was the tank that everyone wanted to get. And they sold it. Out of all the tanks, you had 24 days from the 1st of December until the 24th. You were able to buy every single vehicle for gold in that calendar tree. But you were not able to buy this tank for gold. And I just think it's a scummy move by Wargaming. And yeah, I just wanted to discuss it and give maybe an option, a solution for Wargaming to actually make us able to use the gold on certain premium tanks. Why don't you start those offers more often? Those calendar days, you could make a week, like a weekly tank that is available for gold that you can buy that is maybe sometimes not available for gold. Just imagine how many more people would actually be using the gold. It would be a beneficial thing for you and for the player. And I just think it's time to be a bit more fair towards us because we have spent a shit ton of money on this game. And yeah, that's all I just wanted to say. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. Do you think I'm just completely over the top with the gold and that, well, it's my fault that I spent so much money on gold and I'm not going to be able to use it? Or do you think it's just that it should be made available since it is a part of the premium currency and the monetization scheme around the game and you should be able to buy the premium tanks? I certainly think we should be able to buy premium tanks with the gold that we have. Doesn't matter if it's a Defender or IS-3A. I just think it should be made more fair. Well, hopefully they do something about it. And yeah, we're gonna finish this now. I'll see you guys in the next video.